Georgia's 2026 property tax appeal season is upon us, and you want to learn how to appeal your property tax assessment notice, right? Then you are in the right place. Georgia counties are releasing their 2026 assessment notices as I make this video in June of 2026. There will be tens of thousands of assessment notices mailed throughout Georgia from May through July. In this video, I will cover the basics of how to appeal your property tax assessment notice. You will learn how to fill out Georgia's standard tax appeal form so that your tax appeal rights as a property owner are preserved. The goal of this video is not to teach you the entire Georgia tax appeal process. That is beyond the scope of this video. But you can pause this video to take a look at this chart of what is to come. It's really not as scary as it looks. I will have another video you can watch which will provide an overview of the Georgia tax appeal process. I also wrote a book newly revised for 2026 titled Tax Freeze: How to File and Win Property Tax Appeals in Georgia, if you want to learn more about the Georgia's entire property tax appeal process. I will provide a link to both the overview video and my book in the description area below. The first thing you need to do before appealing your property tax assessment is you need a copy of your annual assessment notice before you get started. These annual assessment notices are formally known as the Georgia PT-311-A form. If you are unsure whether your county has mailed out your annual assessment notice, call your county's tax assessor's office. Understand that there are 159 counties in Georgia, and every county has their own release schedule. If you call your tax assessor's office, make sure they have your correct mailing address for each of your properties. Sometimes they will have incorrect mailing addresses on file. If you don't have a copy of your assessment notice, ask for an emailed copy or download it from your tax assessor's website. You can also visit the tax assessor's office in person to get your assessment notice. If you have multiple properties, you should know that it's possible to have one property have a correct mailing address and another property have an incorrect mailing address. If you have properties located in different counties, you'll have to call each county's tax assessor office separately. Regardless of your situation, you need your annual assessment notice in front of you so you can fill out and file your property tax appeal form correctly. It's a minor point, but in 2026, assessment notices will look different than prior year notices. That's because of legislative updates in both 2025 and 2026. The second thing you need to do is to get a copy of your county's tax appeal form. Visit your county tax assessor's website and download a copy of Georgia's standard property tax appeal form. That form is known as Georgia Form PT-311-A. In theory, the standard appeal form can be used in any county in Georgia. In practice, a few Georgia counties use a customized version for their county. I recommend you use the customized appeal forms for your county if they are available. But if you use Georgia's standard appeal form, your county should still be fine with it. In order to preserve your tax appeal rights at minimum, you must fill out and sign the one-page tax appeal form. You then deliver it within 45 days of the print date of your assessment notice. By doing this, you seek a value reduction and a 3-year tax freeze as you progress through the tax appeal process. As a sidebar, some counties in Georgia allow for electronic filing of tax appeals. They tend to be in larger counties. I've done a few of these now and it's quite convenient. However, electronic filing is not available in all Georgia counties, and you could run into technical glitches. So keep that in mind if you want to take a stab at it. Now, as a side note, Cobb County in Metro Atlanta area allows you to email your tax appeal forms. I think it's fabulous. Cobb is the only county I know of that allows this. If you want to file electronically, you have to adapt the information from this video for electronic filing of your tax appeal. Filling out the basic tax appeal form is simple in Georgia. If you have your information together, the basic form should only take 10 to 15 minutes at most to fill out. You should know that filing a property tax appeal is a right for every Georgia property owner to exercise. Don't be shy in exercising those rights. Unlike some states, the good news is that there are no fees in Georgia to file the basic tax appeal form. I encourage property owners to file property tax appeals in Georgia because it's the only way you can get your 3-year tax freeze. It's sometimes referred to as the 299C value freeze. 299C is short code for Georgia Statute 48-5-299C. The caveat to getting the 299C tax freeze in 2026 is that you must go all the way through the appeal process and negotiate a value reduction of at least $1. Unlike prior years, if you don't get a value reduction, you don't get your tax freeze. Filling out the Georgia PT-311-A appeal form is that crucial first step that must be completed. Starting out, filling out the top portion of the form is easy. It is the contact information section. It is pretty straightforward. Print your full name, mailing address, phone numbers, and email address. This information is used by the tax assessor's office and the Board of Equalization. During the process, you will receive postal mail, emails, or even phone calls. Communications and notices come at unpredictable times, so only list active contact information you will check. In the next section, check off the real box for real estate property appeals. The property ID number is your county's unique identifier for your parcel or property. This is very important to get right and listed on your assessment form. Your appeal can be disregarded if the tax assessor's office can't correctly identify which property your appeal form is for. In the property description field, I generally write the street address of the property being appealed to further support identifying the correct parcel or property. In the account number field, this is generally an optional field. I will write it in if it is provided on the assessment form. Otherwise, I leave it blank. Some counties list the account number on the assessment notice. Some counties don't. It's generally not a big deal if you don't have the account number. Under grounds for appeal, check the value box. In prior years, I recommended people check the uniformity box, but I only recommend it for certain special circumstances, which is beyond the scope of this video. For 2026, I recommend people check the value box only and not the uniformity box because of feedback I've gotten recently. For most owners of single-family homes, you want to select the BOE option, the Board of Equalization. It is a free option. Under owner's value assertion, this is the dollar value you believe that your property should be assessed at as of January 1, 2026. I can tell you from personal experience I almost always get this number wrong and put too high a number in my effort to be fair, only to later regret it. I would later do research, pull sales comps, inspect a property, and realize I hurt my own efforts by writing a number that was too high. I hate it when that happens. Don't let this happen to you. Generally, the sales comps you are looking for are the prior year's comps. For example, 2026 property tax appeals reference sales values from January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2025. Don't use any 2026 sales information. That is a big mistake inexperienced people and most real estate agents make. Sales comps tend to skew high because most sold homes are cleaned up, repaired, updated, and retail-ready homes. You need to make a lower value adjustment to account for homes that are occupied, have wear and tear, and deferred maintenance issues. If you are under the gun for time in filling out the appeal form, do yourself a favor and write in a lower value number than a higher value number, even if you feel it's a ridiculous number. You can always agree to settle the appeal at a higher value later, but you cannot settle a lower value than what you wrote. Under property owner comments, there are only 2 lines to write comments. It is very tight and you can't write a lot here. With most tax appeals I file, I include a separate text page to address issues and factors that I want to bring attention to. Generally, I highlight the most significant factors affecting the value from the highest impact to the lowest impact. Some items might be roof, siding, foundation, HVAC, etc. I end the comments section by including a phrase, "See attached page for more info," or "more information forthcoming." I always include additional evidence at some point in the appeal process. Sometimes I will provide it with the appeal form. Other times I provide the evidence after I've delivered the appeal form. Under property class, select residential box for any appeal of single-family homes. You should know that if you own residential property with more than 3 units, such as a quadruplex, it will automatically be classified as a commercial appeal no matter what you select. The next thing you absolutely want to remember is to sign the appeal form. If you don't sign the appeal form, it will be rejected. Sign with a blue ink pen. Some employees are very insistent on verifying original signatures on an appeal form. Speaking of being insistent, my cat Lexi insists that you swipe that like button to help spread this video to more property owners like yourself. And as a special bonus, if you hit that subscribe button, I will make sure Lexi gets a special treat. Under the last section in the agent information section, this is for people who want assistance with their appeal. The agent section does not mean real estate agent, insurance agent, or anything like that. Agent in the context of this tax appeal form is someone who you designate and give authorization to receive information on the appeal, postal mail, phone calls, or emails relating to your tax appeal. In some Georgia counties, both the property owner and agent will receive postal mail notices. In other Georgia counties, only the agent receives postal mail notices. I learned this lesson the hard way. I won't be an appeal agent for property owners in certain counties because I don't want the sole responsibility to receive and catch those notices and letters. Without getting too personal, my time is too split during this phase of my life where I'm dealing with an elderly parent with dementia in Florida. So for the next few years, I'm generally not going to serve as an agent. Whoever you list as your appeal agent should be trustworthy enough to receive postal mail notices and respond to them appropriately. Or, at the very least, reliably deliver those communications and notices to you as a property owner. It's not urgent you list an agent up front. You can always add them later with a letter of authorization. As I stated earlier, this video is meant to explain how to fill out Georgia's tax appeal form, the PT-311-A, in a simple manner to preserve your appeal rights. Because if you don't get this appeal form filled out and delivered before the 45-day deadline, your appeal is dead for the current year. It is costly to miss the deadline. When you complete the form and sign it, hand deliver or mail it in at least 7 days before the 45 deadline to give yourself some time cushion. Make sure you confirm receipt by calling the tax assessor's office. You will ultimately need to research, look up, and reveal sales comps, do a property inspection, and make notes of damages, defects, and deferred maintenance issues. You should take good photos as part of your evidence and supporting document submission. You do all these and other things to prepare for a settlement, negotiation, or Board of Equalization hearing later in the process. To help you through this process, you should get a copy of my book, newly revised for 2026. It is available on Amazon in both Kindle ebook format and printed paperback format. What you should do now is watch this next video next to get a better understanding of how to get your property tax freeze in Georgia. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in that video.